Hi, this is Alan Penko, Executive Director for the Southern California Rental Housing Association, continuing our series of getting to know people in the rental housing industry. Today I have with us a board member, a newer board member to the organization, Buck Buchanan. Buck, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Buck Buchanan. Been in the rental housing industry now for about 11 years, and all those years I've been a member of the Southern California Rental Housing Association. Back then it was San Diego County Apartment Association, and it has treated me well. And after investing, after being an investor and that kind of thing, I started my own property management company. It's called Buchanan Property Management, and that has been about 6 years now. So
you really started off as an individual, just investing money on the side kind of thing and growing it from there, it sounds like.
That's correct, yeah.
There's quite a few people in our association that have done that over the years. As you mentioned, we changed the name. That was part of our 100th birthday celebration last year. 100-year-old organization was kind of rare these days. And we still have members that have been around 40, 50 years. And a lot of them have started off that way. They bought a single property and acquired a couple more over the decades. And some of them have had a management company at one point. And towards the end of their careers, they kind of phase that part back out and just downsize their portfolios and those sort of things. So it's interesting to say that what was true then is still true now. The logic still exists. How did you find us? How did you find out about our association?
When I bought my first rental property, I found myself in a situation where I needed leasing help, background screening services, some legal help, and forms. And back then I wasn't a real estate broker and I wasn't a participating realtor and didn't have access to the CAR forms, or California Association of Realtor forms. So San Diego County Housing Association was the obvious choice, because you guys provide all of that. We do. So
yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize is the number of businesses that we actually operate. We have the rental forms, so 80 some different rental forms available to us. We have the InfoLink screening product, which it sounds like you're using, and our forms are built into that library as well, depending on which option you pick. And then we have operational advice. We have the screening product. We have insurance products. Of course, we had the magazine, which is its own for-profit business and whatnot. A lot of things. We're actually introducing 401k going into next year because of the new laws that require any company with 5 or more employees to have a 401k program. So we'll be adding that to our portfolio starting at the beginning of the year. So it's important to know those are good points. As a housing provider, I'm sure you've sensed over the years that we're often viewed in a negative light, if you will. What would you want somebody to know to know about the industry and the people who are in the industry and run the properties and things like that may not be evident normally?
Yeah, I would say that what I want people to know about is that I would like us to be known for what we actually do. So we provide clean, safe, well-maintained residences for people in all different sorts of situations. You, me, everybody at one point in their lives has needed some sort of rental housing, and whether that's single family homes, condos, or apartments. And that's just a fact of life. And so behind every single one of those rentals is either an owner who's acting as a property manager or a property manager. And those people are present 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing good, clean, safe housing. And they're, and a lot of times doing it for a small amount of money. But, I understand that there may be a few bad apples out there that are kind of stealing the limelight, which is sad, because for every one of those, there's probably 10 or 20 others who are providing great rental housing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'd like it would be nice for us to be seen in that light, as people who work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to provide for others. And that's not something that most people can say. So a lot of people go home at 5 o'clock every night or on the weekends and get to turn their phone off, but we don't. So
yeah, that's very true. We hear that, particularly the independently owned properties. When you started off, before you had your management company, it's the owner, and it's all day, 24/7, holidays included. If something happens on the property, they've got to go out there and do it, and that can be difficult because a lot of independent owners have properties. They're a single family home or a condo or a duplex. They don't start off with a 100-unit property where you have a lot of units in one location. You start off with a few units spread all over the place. So there's commute times and all that stuff adds to it. It's much more difficult than people think.
The amount of calls, I mean, I've received calls on Thanksgiving Day, received calls on Christmas Day, and actually personally have responded to calls on those days where others are just, sitting at home, relaxing, having turkey with their family. And so, yes, it's a chore, and but we do it, and we have a lot of us who started off this way have pride of ownership, and that's kind of one of the where I sit in this thing is pride of ownership, and making sure that people have a clean, safe place to live. So.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people I've talked to over the years, even our industry achievement award winners that have been in the business for 50, 60 years, how the story of it was my family's investments, and Saturday mornings I'm jumping out of the car and running by the property and picking up the trash and putting it in the trunk of the car, and those sort of things. You hear those stories all the time. Do you have a particular story about a tenant that you're able to help, a resident that you're able to help?
Yeah, got a bunch actually.
Do you mind sharing one?
Yeah, I would say, let's see, let me pick the most recent one, I guess. It's kind of, one of those stories where, mental health affects a lot of people in our world these days. And, our tenants some of them are affected by mental health, and it's unfortunate, but they deal with it, and we have to treat them just as we would treat anybody else. And so recently we had a tenant who they deal with severe depression, let's say, and they had to be institutionalized because of their condition. A family member was concerned, and we knew that they had a dog present in the household, but they didn't have family here. They didn't have no family, nobody around to be able to take care of the dog. So Buchanan Property Management went down there, picked up the dog, and cared for the dog for the weekend until a family member could get down and pick up the dog. So that's something we try and do, and in this case, we were happy to help.
It's just it seems like a small thing, but it really isn't, particularly for the owner of the dog. I have had dogs in the past. I don't at the moment, and it's tough when they pass to get over it and get on to your next animal, if you will. But one of the reasons I don't have a dog is because I like to travel, and I really couldn't handle the separation anxiety when I traveled. So I understand that, and that for the pet owner, that's a tremendous thing to do, is be able to take care of their animal by someone that they know and obviously trust. They're renting a house from you, so or home from you. So that's amazing. Can you just a comment about how the association's helped you over the years? You mentioned the operational advice and the forms and services. You as an individual growing into a property manager, how has the association helped you get there?
Well, like I said, the first thing that drew me in was just the actual products that are delivered as part of membership. But I would say the biggest thing that I gained from the association at this point is knowledge. So in the last 11 years, I've grown from being a independent owner to having my own business and also doing fee management or third-party management. And over those 11 years, I've gained friendships, I've gained camaraderie, I've gained I've gotten to know through networking at through educational events, the expo, things like that. I've gained a network of people that I can lean on for questions, and then also fast forward to where I am now as sitting on the board as a first-year member, board member. My eyes are wide open to all of the different things that affect our industry, because it's not just about collecting rent and leasing. There's so much more to it. And a lot of it has to do with policy, and my eyes are getting wider and wider. You know, the more I sit on the board and the more I'm participating in the industry and trying to make a difference for our industry. So yeah, knowledge is probably the biggest thing that I've gained, but not to overshadow the colleagues and friendships that I've gained throughout the last 11 years. So
that's great to hear. Honestly, that's, you know, we have a lot of direction from our board and a lot of things we're trying to accomplish and achieve, and it's good to hear that it's coming to fruition, if you will. Building those professional networks is one of the things that we hope to do for our members, particularly those that are starting out in, whether it's someone new to the property management industry or someone new to the investment industry and growing forward. We work with a lot of both, so it's great to hear. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time out this afternoon, Buck, and getting a chance for the folks out there to learn a little bit more about who makes up the rental housing industry. I'm Alan Pennico, Executive Director of the Southern California Rental Housing Association with Buck Buchanan of Buchanan Management. If you'd like to know more about our organization, please visit our website at www.socalrha.org. That's www.socalrha.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you.